Hey, it's A Nikki B on the scene, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new, please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss another week with me. And I talk about commentary, beauty, and I do lifestyle. So if you're into any of those things or all of them, show your girl some support. But let's get right into it. The Ultimatum Season 2. Now this was the season of delulu. And not to say that the last season wasn't full of delulu either, but this one was giving delulu times 10. Like, what did people think they signed up for? You tell me, what did they sign up for? Because last time I checked, you signed up to exploit your relationship because you need to figure out whether the person that you're with was actually serious about marrying you. So to figure that out, you guys have to be in a trial marriage with strangers for 3 weeks to figure that out. You also agreed to have your partner walk away with somebody else, potentially. Because it seemed like once people signed up for this, it's like everyone was just confused that certain things was happening. I'm like, what did you expect? But anyway, let me just kind of give a little context of who I'm talking about so we can just put some faces to some names. And I did this in the last video too when I talked about the Ultimatum with the other seasons. I just kind of just like the original couples, and then I went to the people who they was paired up with, just again to just have some idea, putting a name to the face. So for the original couples that came to the show, Kat and Alex, Ryan and James, Raya and Trey, Roxanne and Antonio, Lisa and Brian. Now Lisa and Brian, they actually left the show early because she found out she was pregnant, so therefore they did not want to continue the experiment with anyone. So those were the original couples that came to the show with together. You know, a lot of them honestly the only couple that's been dating for the longest will be Ryan and James, and they've been dating for 7 years, which is a very long time, as everyone else are touching like 2 years and 3 years. To me, I don't think it's a long time to really pop the question like, hey, I think we should get married. Like, I just think you guys need to know each other a little longer and like actively try to get to know each other longer too, you know what I'm saying? So the people that was a part of the 3-week trial marriage was Kat and Antonio, Roxanne and Alex, Raya and James, Trey and Ryan, and like I said, Lisa and Brian left due to the unexpected pregnancy that at the time everyone thought was fake. I even thought it was fake. I'm just like, you all of a sudden find out you pregnant all of a sudden? Okay, but we're gonna get into them, but we're gonna save them for last because I have so much words for Lisa that I'm just like, I just want to cut her up. It's like if I would have saw her in person, I would probably have the stinkest attitude. I'm just like, you're just a terrible person. So before I just get into everybody, I just want to say my initial thoughts about the entire season. I'm just like, it's not just that season only, it's even the preview, like all these little dating shows. Is like, we need to stop using these filler words such as like, oh, you're such a logical person, like you're super logical, you're super ambitious. Like, I like a person who's ambitious. How about you say what you really mean? You mean you want a person with money. When you say, oh, I want somebody who's ambitious, like what does that mean to you? What does it mean to be with somebody who's ambitious? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because not everyone is an entrepreneur, and not every entrepreneur starts off with a lot of money in their pockets. Some people are actually struggling trying to be an entrepreneur because it's not an easy thing. That is like a 27-8 job. It's so much you can really expect out of a person. So when people use that as a way to kind of show admiration for others, like, oh, you're so logical, you're so ambitious, it's like, what are you talking about? You know, get what I'm saying? Like, I hope y'all understand where I'm coming from. It's like, we need to stop using that. Like, it doesn't add anything. You're not meeting with somebody special. Like, come on now, I don't understand. Just say what you really mean. You want to be with somebody with money, and you see how they get their money, and that's what attracts you. Keep it 100. And then especially with a show like this, it's like, you're not coming on here looking for somebody. Like, you can't, it's like they try to use logic in this type of setting, and it's like, logic don't exist when you came on here looking for love. Because I feel like when you just looking for love, not to say like people aren't smart or nothing like that, that's not the case. It's just a matter of like, if you was really thinking logical, being on this show would be the most illogical choice you can make. But you can't use logic in a setting like this where you're, you know, essentially looking for love. And overall, I really did not like any of these couples. Like, respectfully, I didn't. Like, they just did not know what they signed up for. But those are my initial thoughts about the entire season as a whole. But now let's get down to the people and, you know, of the trial marriage couples, and basically what I what I picked up from it. So the first couple, Kat and Antonio, I ain't gonna hold y'all, they were really boring. I really did not care about them. Kat was just very like she just looked like a sad dog the entire time. Like, I don't know, it's like something you can always tell, like, sis is just thinking about something. Like, I don't know what it is, she just looks freaking sad. But I did like, over time, she did start to speak up more for herself, started to put her foot down. So that's something that I didn't notice about her. So I thought that was a great change that she needed. I think when the reunion came and Roxanne was trying to talk all that, Kat put her foot down and she explained thoroughly. I think she did the best she could to articulate herself in that. And I think Kat had a nice change, okay? And then Antonio's like, you pulling up to Alex at the bar, cause that's when the guys got together, and you asking Alex, like, basically, are you gonna steal my girl? Alex is like, no, but I don't think Roxanne respects you. And for some reason, Antonio just took so much offense, like, oh my God, what do you mean she doesn't respect me? Is that what she really said? Are you sure? You're just being an a-hole. And I was like, he's literally telling you how Roxanne talks about you when you're not there. I just couldn't understand why he would think he would lie about that. It's like, even to the point that Kat's ex-boyfriend's parents texted her, or the both of them, I really don't know how that went down, but she received a text from them, and they were basically saying, like, yeah, I don't think Roxanne really likes Antonio like that, based on how she is. And they're making their comparisons. It's like, if Antonio's not the guy that you're looking for, then why are you with him? Roxanne, if Antonio's not the guy that you're looking for, according to all the qualifications that you look for in a man, then why are you with Antonio? And you know why she's with Antonio? Because she can easily manipulate Antonio, because she can easily make him do what she wants him to do. But going back to Kat and Antonio, they was both born together. Antonio has a lot of things he needs to unpack, and hopefully what he's doing now, got his little job or business, whatever he got going on, he can figure that out. But they was just born. I didn't really care for them too much. So now we on to Roxanne and Alex. Roxanne is a workaholic. Like, when she was like, oh yeah, we could like work together, like work. Girl, relax. Work is not that fun. I promise you, work is not that fun. I don't care what you do, work is not that fun. If it's not this, I mean, even with this as a job, creating content, sometimes that gets a little annoying too. Like, some things is just not what it is, what it's prepped up to be. It's like, she just so like, oh, like, yeah, we could work together for our computers. I'm like, you are insane. I don't find enjoyment in that. In my personal opinion, I don't think there's enjoyment in that. And she doesn't seem like, it's weird because she looks like a person who knows how to have fun. But it's like, it comes at like can work me involved. Like, it gives that type of vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like, she can't go on a cruise unless she brings her work laptop. Yeah, I'm gonna have fun, but work is gonna be around the corner. Like, she gives that type of vibe. I just feel like Roxanne is so clouded by this whole, I want money, I need to work, which I get. I mean, if you have your own business and you're trying to keep it afloat, you're going through a lot of different changes, because businesses are really hard to keep up with. I get the aspect of like, all right, you need to work every day, you gotta make sure everybody's good, you need to have the Roxanne girl who's the girlfriend who's doing her thing, and then there's a Roxanne who works. You need to separate that. I feel like she just molded them together, and I feel like it's hard for her to kind of just open up and just be expressive. When she and she and Antonio, when they met each other, and I think that was like when the couples originally got back together, when they were talking, he said like, he said something and basically said like, I love you after that, and she didn't say anything back. It was like no reaction to it whatsoever. Why aren't you saying I love you back? And then she's like, well, I don't feel in that moment. And it's like, it's a little weird, because again, if this is somebody that you plan to marry, that you want to spend the rest of your life with, which is a big thing, little things like that matter. Why is there this whole fight with like, why am I saying that? It's like, it's like she has no thought process of that. It's like she doesn't know that you actually have to be affectionate towards your partner. And especially, this is where this is why people feel like they lack reassurance in their relationship, because of people like her. You have to do those things. You can't marry a person and be confused on why you have to say I love you back. But sis is weird. Now, Raya and James. Is definitely like, I feel bad for Raya, because I feel like she was getting the end of the stick with like everybody. It's like, Raya really didn't do anything. The only thing I would say about Raya is that she just doesn't know what she wants. What she does want, which is a whole living the city life and all this extra stuff, I feel like sisters need to get a job. She needs to figure it out. She needs to go back to school. She needs to do something to get her started in her life. I feel like she's just too dependent on Trey. That's not fair to him, because she literally wanted Trey to uproot his entire life just so she could have a city. Like, that's literally what she wanted. He's like, I'm not gonna do that because it doesn't make any sense. Like, if I got a job over here that's paying me well, I'm comfortable in my town, it's like, why am I going to leave that because you want to have the city life, and on top of that, you don't even know what you want to do. That was like after. But Ryan and James, it's like James, he didn't want to, like, you know, he didn't want to hold her hand. He didn't want to do any of that stuff. But somehow he had this idea of like a marriage, you know, it should always consist of, you know, that doesn't make any sense. I'm just like, yes, y'all in this trial marriage, but it's like y'all also don't know each other. So it's like, what makes you think she wouldn't even feel comfortable trying to initiate something like that? It's like he was alluding to like, maybe we should do this, but then she's just like, first of all, we haven't even reached that point, and all she was asking for, like, hey, like, we're in a trial marriage, you could hug me sometimes, you can hold my hand, like, we can do these little things, we could just vibe out. It's like, it's not like she was asking him to like kiss her. Like, she was on that type of time, because we both saw that they still was thinking about their exes. It's like, all right, it's clear that y'all still like your ex, and obviously doing anything more would feel like you're cheating on your partner, even though you guys have free reign to kind of do what you want. But they didn't want to take it to that next step, which is fine. But all she was asking James is like, hey, just vibe out with me. He wasn't trying to vibe out at all. It's like he kept thinking about, oh, this and that, da-da-da, and then he's worrying about his mommy and daddy issues, and I'm just like, what they gotta do with now? That's not an excuse to behave that way with Ryan. I wouldn't say he disrespected her. I think that's a step above. I just think it's more so he was just very avoidant in the process. And if you have these ideologies about, you know, this needs to happen all the time, it's like, you have to understand, you're not with your ex, you're with somebody new. All you need to do was just, hey, let's just hang out, we can talk, we can get to know each other, and that's that. Because that's the thing I don't understand with these couples. Like, when y'all go into your trial marriage, y'all, that doesn't mean y'all gotta be, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all don't have to be doing that. Y'all could just literally just get to know each other. If it does become something more, y'all human. It can happen. But if you feel like, you know what, I could be friends with this person, then you can also build that too. It's like it's like their mind immediately goes straight to the gutter. Like, oh, I'm in this child marriage. Now I have to like make out with them. I have to be super sweet. Like, no one's asking you to do that. All you have to do is get to know them. Trey and Ryan were cool. They did what the experiment intended for them to do. I actually didn't really have a problem with them. They got to know each other. That's really what it is. They got to know each other. They hanged out. They asked each other questions. They tried to figure out where they were. And, you know, because of them hanging out, you know, Trey did catch feelings for Ryan just a tad bit. But he was still conflicted because he still wanted to be with Raya at the end of the day. Ryan, I don't really think she caught feelings for him. It didn't really seem like she did. Like, I think she thought Trey was a good guy, he was nice, da-da-da, but I can tell that she wasn't gonna pick him. It just wasn't gonna happen. Because again, you're talking about someone who's been in a relationship for 7 years with someone else. She's not gonna throw that away for somebody she met on the show. It's just not gonna happen. I think he likes Raya. I think he will want to be with her. However, if you are on a different path in your life, like, he's 28 at the time, he was 28. And Raya was 24. So it's like, you at a point in your life where you got everything, or you're close to getting everything, you're ready to settle down. With Raya, if she's not ready to settle down, if she, like, I just feel like if two people just aren't on the same page in life, then it's like, it's okay to kind of let that thing go. Now, lastly, my favorite couple. Honestly, when they first appeared, I'm like, is this Raven Simone? Like, who is that? It was Doom and Brian and Lisa. Now, they were an interesting pair. Like, honestly, I slightly wish that they stayed on the show, because they was definitely bringing in the drama. Like, Roxanne definitely brought in a little drama and everybody else, but with them, it was like a different type of drama. I was like, this is what I want to say. But they left so early because Lisa couldn't get it together. She could not keep it together at all. And again, it was really weird in how she treated Raya. Like, when they, you know how when they first get like all the exes and stuff together, and, you know, they all kind of talk around, get to know each other. Lisa made up this entire idea in her head that Raya was just all over Brian. She was just out to get him, and that she didn't love Trey enough, because if you really love your partner, partner, why would you be drooling over my partner, who at the time was your ex at this point? Because the whole point is for y'all to talk to people and choose who you will want to literally spend the next 3 weeks potentially sleeping in the same bed with somebody. Lisa was just making up all this stuff in her head and basically was calling Raya like a Hooters bee and basically just degrading her. All I'm going to say is that there's no excuse for that. I don't care if this woman was pregnant. I don't care about no pregnancy hormones. I don't care about none of that. You disrespected that girl that you didn't know because you were insecure. You were jealous that this younger girl was looking at your mans and he was feeling her. You were jealous about that. You couldn't handle that. And you felt like you were going to lose him in this process, which if you think you're going to lose him here, then I can only imagine how you think about in the outside world. You're probably thinking about that all the time. And you know why? Because he still hasn't put the ring on your finger yet. You got pregnant by him, had his baby, and guess what? You're not married. You can't even do that. Everybody else on that stage at the reunion, all are engaged. They're all planning their weddings. And what are you planning? Your baby's first year birthday party. So clearly your priorities aren't straight. But anyway, she was coming at Raya because of that. And then guess what? She freaking mushed Brian's face during that time as well. And I'm just like, what are you mad about? Like, I was genuinely confused at what Lisa was mad about. And I get it. It's hard to see your partner that you've been dating with, whether it be 2 years, 3 years, whatever. I get it. You with somebody and now all of a sudden you guys have to break apart and kind of like, not really start a new life, but like go on this trial marriage with somebody you don't know. I get that. It's a little weird. And again, you could potentially lose your partner. Y'all did not need this show to figure out that y'all got problems in your relationship. He didn't really look like he was all that into her, to be honest, into Lisa. And I'm talking about Brian. He looked like he was ready to step away. Like, he's seen, and mind you, she gave him the ultimatum. So my question is to her, it's like, don't you love your man? Don't you love him enough to not bring him on a show? Don't you feel your relationship is strong enough to not want to be participating in a show like this? Her whole argument was like, oh, Raya doesn't love him, so why would you want to be here? Well, you clearly don't love your man, so why are you here? And I didn't like how Trey didn't really step in to kind of defend Raya, because yes, regardless on the whole, yeah, I wasn't too sure, she this and that. I'm like, at the end of the day, that's your relationship. And if you engage her, cause again, if you got this ring on my finger, I'm gonna need you to defend me. I'm gonna need you to tell that people playing around with motorcycles outside my house to get on daddy long legs over there. Okay? Because she's not gonna sit here and try to disrespect me in front of everybody. Her defense was just illogical. Like, what are you talking about? Like, she literally sat on this reunion stage, y'all, and created something out of nothing because she's insecure. And you will always be insecure, man. Okay, I'm like, y'all saw when she had no makeup on? At least when I wipe my eyebrows down, I still got eyebrows. I still have a face. When she took her makeup off, I'm like, that's not even the same woman no more. You a skinwalker. Yeah, I think Lisa was just a very distasteful person, and I think Raya had every right to address that. Like, I'm glad she addressed it. She said her piece, and you can tell Raya, she's definitely not a confrontational type, but you can tell she's the type to try to avoid it as much as she can. Lisa could not get away with that, and I didn't really like how the host kind of just glided over that because, well, you know, at the time she was pregnant. No, it's like everyone kind of felt sympathy almost, and it's like, no, she disrespected somebody. Well, if she wasn't pregnant, then what? Would she be held accountable then now? But from the very beginning, she was acting like that. She literally, her eyeballs darted to Raya when it was at the pool. So she already had animosity towards this girl. But, you know, like I said, I think Raya held her own. She did what she had to do. Lisa was like, oh, I don't care. Of course you don't care. Of course, because you never care. You never respect her because you don't respect yourself. Literally, Raya said y'all had gotten your nails done that day. Talked about where y'all were. You talking about you worked at Hooters too, which you probably could have lied for all we know. And then in the same day, you gonna call her a Hooters bee. Like, how does that make sense? Like, what about her makes her a Hooters bee? And then you talking about, oh, it wasn't about, I wasn't really coming for her occupation. But you kind of are, because why else would you say that? And overall, with the season, it was okay. It was definitely drama, but not enough drama. Because again, I don't know, I feel like lately with these reunions, they've been very like super, let's avoid all drama. It's like drama would come out just a little bit, but then it's like at certain points, it's like it feels like no one really gets to say what they really want to say. And I'm just like, isn't that why y'all the host? Like, get these people talking. Like, if I was the host, first of all, Netflix, let this be my audition tape. let me be the host on one of them little shows that I got. Because I'm going to get people talking. I'm going to get down to the detail, because what I'm going to do, I'm going to watch everything. I'm probably going to watch it like 1 to 3 times. I'm going to get my opinions. I'm going to write it down. I'm going to have my note cards, and I'm going to come in with the heat. Because I'm going to be picking at people. I'm like, well, you said this to her, but that's not what it showed on the video. So can you explain that? I'm that type of person. I'm the instigator. Because it's like, what are we here for? What are we reuniting for? For what? If everyone's just going to be sweet and happy and cute and like, oh my gosh, like, here we're getting married. And I don't care about the happiness. That's my thoughts on the Ultimatum. I hope you guys enjoyed my video. And definitely, I think Love is Blind is supposed to be coming out either next week or something like that. But whenever that comes out, I'm going to be on it. I'm going to be posting videos every single week. So please stay tuned for that. And again, thank you to the 600 plus subscribers. I believe I'm at 642 subs. Thank you, thank you, amen. Bye, have a good one, and I'll be back again with another video.